physical activity is any activity that involves moving your body, includes everyday activities, physically active play, and organized sports and exercise. For example, washing dishes, walking, running, or play basketball, all of them, they are physical activity, but they are different intensity. So in the physical activity, we have the different level of intensity: light, moderate, and vigorous. So in the level of intensity, it's determined based on the ability of people, like fundamental movement skill, motor skill, and also if they have any experience in exercise and sport. We have to put each person with the individual's ability to for intensity. For this reason, at that time, it can be referred one research that include the level of intensity of physical activity for disabled children. At this research, disabled children and young people undertake 120 minutes to 180 minutes of aerobic physical activity per week at the moderate to vigorous intensity. So, of course, it's up to you. You can divide this time per week or divide this time per day. For example, you can do physical activity like 20 minutes per day or 40 minutes 3 times per week. They complete challenging but manageable strength and balance activity 3 times per week, which are particularly beneficial for muscular strength and motor skill. And also, if I want to tell some example, it's like indoor wall climbing, yoga, or some modified sports such as basketball or football. In addition to this research and in line with benefit of physical activity, and of course everybody know about, we passed the difficult times such as a COVID period, realized the benefit and the importance of physical activity. So inactivity and sedentary behavior like screen time activity at children and also adolescents is a big issue, concerns in the big organization like WHO, World Health Organization. For this reason, WHO published the Global Action Plan on Physical Activity at the 2018 to 2030 to provide the guideline to improve the physical activity and decrease the sedentary behavior. In addition, the WHO recommended that children and adolescents aged 5 to 17 should engage at least 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous intensity physical activity per day. From here, physical activity is not just for physical healthy, but it's also really important for helping learning and, of course, our mental as well. But we have the big problem about the children with autism. They have a low physical activity, so it's really starting to grapple with this issue. But the important question is like how and what kind of activity we can use for be more active. For this reason, I'm directly going to the physical literacy because it's a new concept, and as you see, physical literacy include 2 words: physical and literacy. Physical is coming from physical activity, but literacy, when we speak about the literacy, everybody know about this word. It means when the child or person want to write, read, or speaking, the person need to learn the vocabulary, the alphabet of for reading or writing. So literacy, it's particular ways of thinking about and doing reading and writing with the purpose of understanding or expressing thoughts or What's happened? Okay, literacy, it's particularly when I have to change because I hear the Turkish.
Bizde bir sorun yok. Devam edebilirsiniz.
Fahime,
Efendim.
İngilizce butonu tıklar mısın?
Evet.
Oradan giriş yapar mısın? Çünkü tercüman duyamadı seni. Gördün mü butonu aşağıda?
Yok hocam görmedim bir saniye.
Aşağıda uygulamaların hemen aşağıya bak. Uygulamaların hemen sol tarafında dil seçeneği var. Turkish, English diye yazan.
Hocam tercüme butonu var. Tercüme butonundan İngilizceyi seçmeniz gerekiyor.
Evet ama ben burada göremiyorum şeyde.
Altta parmak kaldır falan yazıyor. Onun hemen yanında.
Ses açıp kapadığımız sütunun orada hocam. Satırın orada.
Göremiyorum.
Fahime, sağ altta uygulamaları görebiliyor musun?
Bir saniye. Tekrar söyler misiniz hocam?
Sağ altta uygulamalar butonu var.
Yok hocam.
Ekranın altında uygulamalar
Ekranın altında hiçbir şey yok. Yukarı doğru gitti. Ama
Hocam sizin bana geliyor da Fehmi Hoca'nınki gelmiyor. Doğrusu sanırım. Tamam.
Hı hı.
Evet hocam, Türkçe kanaldasınız.
sen
Fehime,
değiştirebilir misin? Çünkü ben değiştiremiyorum.
hı hı.
Şimdi tekrar şey yapayım mı? Tekrar paylaşayım. Şimdi gördüm. İngiliz. Tamam.
siz full
Paylaşımınla-
ekranda olduğunuz için full ekran sadece PowerPoint'i görüyordunuz galiba.
Evet.
Full ekrandan çıkınca.
Tamam. Çok özür dilerim. I'm so sorry. Okay. The literacy is particular ways of thinking about and doing reading and writing with the purpose of understanding or expressing thoughts or idea in the written form in some specific context of use. But when we see this picture, we can see literacy and the words related to the literacy, like communication, speak, think, read, success, share, listen, understanding. But if we are focused in the picture, we can't see the word related to the physical activity, health, or physical benefit. For this reason, physical literacy is a new term that we find very important for development of healthy children and healthy population. Physical literacy can be defined a variety ways, but almost all the definition around the world are generally coherent in saying a child or it's not different the age, a child or a person who is physically literate will have a very good motor competence in a wide variety of movement, as well as having confidence, comprehension, and ability to adopt the skills for any environment, from being on snow, on ice, in water, on land, indoor, and also out sports. So physically literate person is a person who has a diverse movement vocabulary that they can do a lot of different skills, that they can do it in a lot of different environment. So they are pretty good and they do everything that they want. For example, if you can't throw the ball, you can't play baseball or you can't play basketball. I want to say another example, like if you can't run, you won't be able to avoid an accident. So the physical literacy, it's not just for a sport that physical literacy exists. It's for physically active, for leisure time, recreation. It's for particularly in your house, in doing different chores. It's for vacation. It's for any aspect of your life. We can say if you are not physically literate, you limit your participation in society. So society for us is very important factor. So physical literacy is very important and vital factor to be added the literacy to make the healthy child. For this new concept, of course, we have a lot of definition. I want to start with Margaret Whitehead because she is the first time that who worked with this concept. And she said, in short, physical literacy can be defined as a motivation, confidence, physical competence, understanding, and knowledge to maintain physical activity at an individually appropriate level throughout life. So, of course, this concept it's spread around the world. So in the Canada, Australia, America, Sweden, and many of European countries, they work with this concept. But all of the researcher and all of the person that work with the physical literacy, we have the same definition as this. This is the definition, is the best until now. It's like physical literacy is the motivation, confidence, physical competence, knowledge, and understanding to value and take responsibility for engagement in physical activity for life. So now we want to look very fast at the cycle of physical literacy, but this cycle it's very simple. It includes motivation, physical competence, and confidence. It means the person when learn some physical activities, some like fundamental movement skill, when she or he learned and do very successful, they gain physical competence, and after that they want to do more and more, so they gain confidence, and after that motivation. So when you are going in the cycle, you can be active for during the life. Now I want to speak about the factors of physical literacy. The main factor of physical literacy is physical competence. Physical competence refers to the individual's ability to develop movement skill and patterns, and the capacity to experience a variety of movement intensity and duration. So we can say if the person enhance physical competence, this person enable to participate in a wide range of physical activity and setting. I put this picture because I want to mention in the physical competence at this level, the first level, we are focused on the fundamental movement skill that I said before. When the child can't do a fundamental movement skill like running, jumping, throwing, they can't do different activity, like when the person can't throwing, he or she can't participate in the basketball or soccer. Motivation and confidence refer to the individual's enthusiasm for enjoyment of and self-assurance in adopting physical activity as the integral part of life. Knowledge and understanding, it include the ability to identify and express the essential quality that influence movement. And in this part, we are just focused why we have to do to be active, why we have to physical activity, and how the physical activity and sport or exercise affect to the our health, our life. And of course, in the next to the explain the these benefits, we are mentioned about when you are do sport or physical activity, you have to use some tools for safety environment. So at the end, physical literacy, it all allows to the individual to engage in physical activity across one lifespan and benefits the individual and society thought. So I'm just passing this very quickly, because physical benefits, when we want to speak about physical benefits, it's like motor skill and coordination development, health, body image, lifeline fitness and associated health. As a psychological benefit, it's greater enjoy life, improved of self-concept, self-esteem, enhanced academic and creativity. Social culture, it's about discipline with improvement and growth, cooperation and community involvement, and of course, social atmosphere that promote empathy, trust, and respect. So now we want to go a little bit deep in the physical literacy engine. When we saw this picture, we can see all of the factors of physical literacy, like movement competence, confidence, and motivation, and also active participation. But this engine, it's more up to date. It means when the person do movement competence, so it's going, he or she is, can go into the cycle. But in this picture, it's mention of self-determination theory. But I wanted to speak about this theory, but I'm lucky because after me, this topic is going to me to explain more. The very important key, it's about the activity. What kind of activity we have to give to the children? We have that this activity, it's have to be fun, pleasure, enjoyment, and of course it's not easy, but it's not very hard. It's a more positive challengeable. If we wanted to this engine related to the autism spectrum disorder, as we know, autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, is a neurodevelopmental disorder that makes problem in 3 important areas of growth, that including social interaction, communication, and repetitive and restrict behavior. So when we are coming back to the engine, we can at the right part, we can see some risk factor, physical risk factor and psychosocial risk factor. So when we refer the psychosocial risk factor for the autistic children, we have a problem in this part. So if we want to bring the children with ASD, we have to work at this part, psychosocial factor. So here we can say designing, implementing and planning appropriate intervention to improve social skill and other psychological factors in children with ASD are very critical. For this reason, I want to share some research that we've done before about physical literacy, and of course with children with ASD. Because from now, we have a lot of articles that they work on physical activity and affected on the children with autism. But some of them, they have a positive result, but some of them, they have a negative result. So the purpose of these studies that I want to share, we want to know about the program based on physical literacy. That means I can have physical literacy. Is effect on physical literacy and fine skill in children with autism or not? So we are not just looked just at the physical competence factor. We wanted to know this program affects to the another factors like motivation, self-confidence, knowledge and understanding or not. At the first article or research, we compared two programs, two physical activity program. One of them it's based on physical literacy, and one of them it's sport, play, and active recreation for kids that most physical education teachers they use. Of course, both of them affected on the fundamental movement skill, but the surprising thing is we have the program based on physical literacy. It has more positive effect on the fundamental movement skill. And after that, we used the same program based on physical literacy, but at that time we just looked at the physical literacy. It means this program affect the physical literacy on children with autism or not? So we used this program. I can develop physical literacy. This program was provided by two big organizations. One of them is Physical Literacy Program, and one of them is Canucks Autism Network, that they say CAN. The Physical Literacy Program contributed their physical literacy expertise in creating lessons, plans, and teaching the class. And the CAN contributed their autism expertise in the form of behavior support tools and knowledge and support staff and volunteers. Actually, the aim of this program it was to create a place where children felt supported is gaining in movement and social skills. So the base of this program it's fundamental movement skill and social skills. The program was split into two age groups. The first group it's 4 to 6 years old, and the second one it's 7 to 11 years old. That's the good point in this this program. It's all of the children with autism with different types they can join, and all of the games in this program they are working as a group. It's like 2 person or more than 2 person. Of course, some children with ASD they need they needing supported. So for that children, we put one by one, like one child and one teacher or voluntary. So this program is really good resource for anyone in the community working with children with autism, and also it's a good resource for teachers, leaders, and coaches who want to incorporate physical literacy into their program. So the base of this program it's include 4 steps. The first one is social activity. The second one it's warm up, and the third one it's games, and the last one it's cool down. So
Fahime Hocam çok özür dileyerek
efendim.
Biraz hızlanabilir miyiz?
Tamam.
Toparlayabilir miyiz 1-2 dakika içerisinde?
Tamam.
Çünkü son konuşmacımızın süresi çok kısalacak lütfen.
Tamam hocam. We used the very simple tools and very simple games, but all of the games they are funny and very pleasure that the children they can do it. So the measure for assessment of the physical literacy, we use the Canadian Assessment of Physical Literacy that include the physical competence, daily behavior, knowledge and understanding, and motivation and confidence. That all of the tests they have a validity and reliability for children with autism. I passed because I don't have enough time. So as a result, we can see all of the factors increase, like motor competence, motivation, and knowledge and understanding in the experimental group, and as a total physical literacy increase after when we give this program. So at this conclusion, I can say social participation in the children with autism it's more important than movement competence. So when they are participation in the social, they can put in the physical literacy, and after that we can have all of the physical, mental, and social health. So physical activity designed with games and inside with fun and pleasure, it's more affected to the physical fundamental movement skill of children with autism. And the end, thank you so much for listening my presentation.
Fahime Hocam çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Güzel, detaylı sunumunuz için. Mutlaka soru olabilir ama ben müsaadenizle, gerçi soru göremedim burada ilave. Ama David'in de süresi